Hello everyone, I Assistant Professor Pragati Shetty from Department of Microbiology, KG Somaya College. In this online lecture, we will study about the rotaviruses. Okay, in the last online lecture, we have completed the study for rabies virus. Alright, so first in the rotavirus, we will see what is basically rotaviruses. So this virus cause diarrhea and vomiting, and especially the diarrhea in the children's, okay, in the young age people. This can also cause vomiting and the fever, okay. And therefore you can see in these points, rotaviruses is the virus that causes gastroenteritis, okay, in particular infant and the young children. So this virus is very responsible and we can say that especially affects young children, and which results into the diarrhea, okay. And in some cases it can also result into the vomiting and the fever. All right, then the estimated that all children will become infected with rotavirus at least once by the time they are 5 years. This infection or this type of the infection is very common in the children, and at least there once in a lifetime till the 5 years, at least once they will get this infection, okay, because they are very much susceptible to this virus, okay. Then it is also estimated that the rotavirus cause around the half of all gastroenteritis in the children aged under the 5 years, which means if a children, okay, whose age is below 5 years, is of the 3 to 4 years, and he or she is having the diarrhea, all right, then that in that cases the 90% of the suspected pathogen is the rotavirus, okay. That means it is the major causative agent in the children for causing the gastroenteritis, okay, that is the diarrhea. All right, then we will see that rotavirus is also found in the stool of the infected patient, right. Now as we know that this virus will cause the diarrhea, so by which way the rotavirus can be excreted out? Through the stools. So the virus will present in the stools of the infected children or the infected person. Then rotavirus is very easily spreading, okay. The transmission of this virus is with very ease. Then it can transmit via the oral route, that means hand to mouth contact with the stool from an infected person, all right. And that is why in case of this we must maintain the proper hygiene and the sanitization, okay, because the spread of this virus is very easy, and that is why the children has the most chances for getting this virus, okay. Then most of the children with this virus recover on their own, okay. How will they recover? The host body or the patient or the children body, infected person, in that the defense mechanism, the immune cells will produce the antibodies against these viruses, right, and they will cure the disease, they will cure the infection, all right. And that is why in the most of the cases the certain medications and all that is not required, the children can recover from their own, okay. Then some children become very ill with the severe vomiting, diarrhea. As we mentioned, the vomiting can also result due to this virus. And also if this infection will go to certain drastic changes, harmful changes, then it can also cause certain loss of the fluids in the body, okay, and which results into the very weakened and the ill immune system, right? If we lose our all fluids, okay, then we will get dehydrated, right? And in that stage our immunity will get very weakened, right? Then that at that period the person will require the hospitalization, okay. These are the rare cases. Most of the cases will recover on their own, but if the infection will spread and it will goes on increasing, and that stage the hospitalization will increase, okay, will need. Then what is the incubation period of this virus? The incubation period is approximately 2 days. Within the 2 days the virus will multiply in the host body, okay. Then after the incubation period there will come the infectious period, right? Then in the infectious period the shedding of the virus in the feces may begin before the onset of major symptoms and may continue for several days after the symptoms have resolved. Now what this means, once they will multiply during the incubation period, right, now the community of their own, the virus community is increased, has been increased, right? Now these viruses are shedding, okay, they are protected in the feces and can begin to infect before the onset of major symptoms, okay. That means they can start infecting the host cell before the major symptoms will appear, and that infection can continue for several more days even after the symptoms has been resolved. Means even after the symptoms has been over, after that also the infection can continue, okay. And at that stage the infection is mild, because now the host cell will produce the antibodies against this pathogen, okay. So what is the infectious period? It is after the incubation period, right? Incubation period, the virus will multiply itself, it will increase its community in the host cell. After that then the infectious, it will start to infect the host cell, right? Then it can start infecting the host cell or the host bodies before the major symptoms that will appear, and also this infection can continue to the stage where symptoms will removed, okay. Symptoms has been resolved, but there are, even if the symptoms are resolved, there can be the infection present, okay. Now we will see, this is the basically the incubation period and the infectious period, and what is the rotavirus and what infections is rotavirus can do, okay, and at what age of the people the rotavirus cause infections, right? This is about. Now we will see the structure of the rotavirus, okay. Now this virus is the non-enveloped virus, okay. Now this virus is also having some proteins on its surface, okay. Now we will see structure in detail. The genome of the rotavirus is the, see now this genome is very interesting properties, right, containing genome, because the genome of the rotavirus consists 11 unique double helix molecule of the RNA, double stranded RNA, okay, and which are 18,555 nucleotides in total, okay. The important point is 11 unique double stranded RNA is the genome of the rotavirus, which is unenveloped virus, and it is also having the nucleocapsid. Nucleocapsid, what does the nucleocapsid do? Nucleocapsid will protect the genome, okay. Now each helix, now as we discussed, it is having the double helix, right? Double helix molecule of the RNA, and that is why the each helix or each segment of the RNA is a gene which is numbered 1 to 11 by decreasing size. Okay, you can see in the picture they have shown the 11 segments, okay, 11 double helix molecules of the RNA, and which are in the decreasing size. All right, now therefore each helix or segment is a gene numbered 1 to 11 by decreasing size. Okay, now the each gene code for one protein. Okay, each gene, the each segment will code for one protein. Each gene is equal to each protein except the genes, except gene 9, that gene number 9 will code for two proteins. Okay, now the RNA that is surrounded, now I have mentioned the nucleocapsid, right? Nucleocapsid is present after the RNA, which will protect our genome. Okay, now this capsid will contain some proteins. Okay, now viral particles, they have mentioned VP, right? For the viral particles are up to 76.5 nanometer in the diameter and are not enveloped. Okay, these are not enveloped, these are pointing outwards. Now you can see there are the 7 viral particles. Okay, VP1, then VP2. Now you can see there are two proteins and the segment 9, which is the VP1 and the VP3. Then we will go to the VP2 present in the inner capsid, then VP4, we have the VP5. Okay, after the VP1, VP3, VP1, VP2, VP3, VP5, 6, 7 and the 8. All right, these are the viral proteins that are present in the capsid. Okay, now these proteins are get coded by the genes, each genes.